Hello, Wolf Pups. It's your host, Rainswept, and welcome to Rainswept. We play as a detective named Anderson, Mr. Anderson. But he actually looks like Castiel from Supernatural. So, coincidence? I don't know. I think that's him in the window. Or maybe not. Okay. Way to start the game, Frostwood Interactive. Oh, there's Castiel, smoking a cig. Don't worry, I'm on the case, Sam and Dean. Oh, Castiel's still smoking. Bad, Castiel, bad. Even though your name's supposed to be Michael Anderson. Good alias, Castiel. You should probably lose the trench coat if you're gonna try to assume other identities, though. Monday, 7:35 a.m. October 7th, 1996. That's a long time ago. Okay. Alright, I'm here. Time to see what all this is about. That's a lot of stuff. That's my car. I just got here. I'm not going back now. They've been here a while, it looks like. Now why would I do that? I don't know. I probably want to search for clues everywhere, though. So what if I want to search the other guy's cop car? Terrible. What? I said terrible. Terrible business, all this. Ha! This is only a matter of time. Everyone knows that. I know. Still, they were so young. Young and stupid, you mean? The stories I've heard. I guess you're right. It was just a matter of time. What? It was a matter of time. It's really coming down today. We should just get back home. A few more minutes. I want to see what happens. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna catch a cold, that's all. And I gotta tell you to step back away from the line, please. Step back away from the line. The crowd is too close to the crime scene. The number of cops are too few. This is poor. You're poor, man. Now what's he up to? Tampering with evidence, I bet? Ma'am, please, you need to back away a little. Oh, I called it. I knew somebody's gotta say it. What's happened here? A murder? Johnny, get under the umbrella. You know, the thing. With the stick. Granny, I want to leave. Can I go back to the shop? Could see this coming a mile away. Ma'am, please. Granny, please. Alright, Johnny, let's go. There's no point standing here now. I knew this would happen. We should have done something. There's nothing we could have done. Chris is responsible, I'm so sure. It's hard to disagree, but let's not speculate. Detective Anderson, right? The chief is inside. They've been waiting for you. Tell the crowd to back away. You need to push the crowd further from the scene, officer. What? You'll have to speak up. I can't hear you over the rain. The crowd. Handle them. There could be evidence out here. Oh yes, I'm trying. Hey Williams. What the hell are you doing? Trying to pop this up with tape, sir. It won't stay. Well, get some sticks and drive them in. Yes, sir, Richard. Don't call for Richard. Richard's on leave. Do it yourself. Goodness. Sorry, detective. Thing is, we're short of manpower here. We're prepared for this kind of thing first time in decades. And to top it off, this rain out of nowhere. Just get the crowd under control. I'm heading inside. Yes, Detective, don't worry. Williams! Don't mind me, I'm just gonna keep smoking my cigarette everywhere. I'm gonna go look for some evidence over here. Smoke another cig. Oh, I don't want to go all the way over there. Oh shit. I gotta run back to the crime scene. Excuse me, everybody. That's the way inside. I wonder why Chief sent me all the way to Pineview for this case. Only one way to find out. Should I go in? Yeah, we're gonna go in. No point hanging around out here. God. That's the sheriff. I should talk to him first. Okay. Step around the blood here. Michael? Huh? Oh, the headaches. Not the headaches. Detective, are you okay? I think so, yeah. Guess I'm just a little tired after the long drive here. Detective Anderson, right? The head office called in to say that you've been joining us here for this investigation. I'm Sheriff Harris, and this is Lieutenant... What? What's his name again? Yeah, his name's what? We appreciate the department sending help, but I don't think we'll need it. This case is ready to be wrapped up. What do we have here? The victims here are Christopher Green, age 26, died from a bullet wound to the head, looks self-inflicted. And Diane Miller, age 24, single bullet wound through the chest. The victims lived together, were unmarried. Time of death, I guess? What was the time of death? According to the next door neighbor, a single gunshot was heard around 1500 hours. We received the call at about 20 hours, and we're here in another 5 minutes. We found them dead upon arrival, and confirmed the timing. DOA. Any witnesses? Just a next door neighbor who claims to have heard a single gunshot. We can interview him shortly. There's only one single gunshot and 2 wounds. Very suspicious. Well, let's be thorough with this. Any signs of an intruder? No signs of forced entry. The door was locked from the inside when we arrived. An officer climbed through the open window here to open the door. There are no footprints outside that window. Except the officers? He was careful. No signs of struggle or marks on the body either. Obviously we know it's a gun, but we're gonna ask. What do we know about the weapon? Both shots were fired from a M1911A1, a 1911 .45 caliber pistol. The ballistics report will let us know more. The M1911 is a Colt model, for those wanting to know. That's it for our questions. Honestly speaking, Detective, we think it's pretty obvious what's taken place here. What do you mean? They had a reputation. They weren't exactly a happy couple. The whole town knows this. Diane was shot at point-blank range with Chris's gun, probably by Chris. He then went ahead and shot himself, as the wound is clearly self-inflicted. So you see, sending you here unnecessarily complicates things. I'm beginning to think it was a very good idea, in fact. It's obviously a case of murder-suicide, Detective. So you've got it all figured out already, huh? If that was sarcasm, I'll ignore it, but yes, more or less. Are you suggesting there was domestic violence involved? It would seem so. It was never reported, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, rumors. You may call it that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Not sure of that. And they were never really able to fit in this town. They were new here, moved in about 6 months ago. Never got out much, didn't make any friends. Hey, Just because they're introverts doesn't mean they're, like, not okay. We don't need to analyze the obvious, Detective. That'd only be efficient. Officer Blunt. Oh my god, these names. Okay, Blunt. We'll assist you through the course of your work here. Assist me with that, Blunt. Hello, Detective? And, one more thing. We're looking into wrap this case up quickly and cleanly. We don't want to drag it out if it can't be helped. We have an important festival coming around in a week's time. So you might say this is rather bad timing. So there's no need to go around complicating things, alright? Just give me a story that works and we can close this case quickly. I'll give doing things that way a shot. Yeah, alright then. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Okay then. Anyway, have a look around the room if you like. Come talk to me when you're done. Don't mind if I do. What's this? It's signed Chris 96. I'm guessing Chris built some of the furniture around this house. Gunshot to the stomach. The damage and the residue would suggest the shot was taken at point-blank range. That rules out the possibility of her being shot from the open window. She would have been in the line of sight from the outside, though. There's no mistaking it. The perpetrator would have to be inside the house to cause this kind of a wound. Whether that was Chris or someone else, it's hard to say at the moment. Very peculiar. Hey, Detective. Need any help? Have a look around the room. Once you're done, talk to Lieutenant. What? A 1911 .45 caliber pistol. As the lieutenant said, it looks pretty old. There's 4 rounds in the magazine. This gun can hold 7. That is correct, I can attest that. 3 rounds had been fired from this gun at some point in time. 2 were fired last night, or was it 3? Or was the gun loaded with only 6 out of the possible 7 rounds? The gun belonged to Chris, according to the lieutenant. What? Let's assume Chris or Diane weren't the only ones to use it. Is there anyone else that could have known where they kept the gun? From Pineview, I really doubt it. Remember, no signs of forced entry. Could it be someone they were really comfortable with? Or trusted? No one I can think of. .45 caliber ACP rounds. It's a box of 20 rounds. There are 17 here. 3 are missing. 2 were used during the murder. What about the 3rd? Even though they said there was only 1 gunshot fired. Very peculiar, I think. Red wine. It looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. Who will drink from this glass? It would seem that Chris was sitting by himself at the table and drinking wine, waiting for someone to join him. Probably Diane? Whether he was waiting for her or someone else, we don't know yet. A glass of wine was knocked over. This looks like wine, but there seems to be blood in here as well. How did blood spatter in this direction? It doesn't make sense. Officer Blunt! I think there's been more than the 2 gunshots that we're seeing here. Bullet wound to the head. The skull is badly damaged. Most of the side has been blown off. His body position and the way he fell would indicate that he was sitting sideways on the chair facing where Diane's body is now. The angle of the shot indicates that he was shot from this side. If someone shot him, they were standing in front of the refrigerator. No clues there, though. He could have been shot from the window. At the moment, it's shut. Must get it checked for fingerprints and footsteps outside. Could someone have entered and left through here? We should have the fingerprint results in a couple of days, Detective. Don't forget, there aren't any footprints outside. If someone shot him from outside, then Chris would have sat facing the refrigerator. That would make sense. That way, the killer would need to enter the house. But in that case, who shot Diane? Examining his hand. Gunpowder residue on his right hand. Hard to disagree with Lieutenant here. There's strong evidence from the victim shooting himself, unless it was made to look that way. The chair has not been moved. Looks like Chris was sitting alone when the murder happened. The chair's fallen on his back. Looks like Chris fell off the chair before or after being shot. Okay. I already examined that. Red wine. It looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. No one drank from this glass. Oh wait, we already saw that. Yeah, we already know that evidence. Okay. Okay, so I think we have all the clues. Yeah. Shall we proceed? Yes, I'm done. Alright, let's have a chat with Mr. Willis outside. Bruce Willis? The rain has finally let up. Time to smoke some of my cig. Get a good drag on that. Oh, Lieutenant, what? Why do you got a bug sprayer? Right, this is Mr. Willis. He lives right there next door. Yeah, he looks like an old Bruce Willis. Coffee detective? Hells yeah. Yes, thank you. You're gonna ask him any question you may have about last night. Right, Mr. Willis. Can you tell me everything that you saw or heard during last night's events? Can you? Can you? Well, see, I'd headed off to bed at about 11 p.m. as I usually do after a glass of whiskey. Helps me sleep, you know? Anyway, somewhere around 12:15 a.m., I'd say, I was woken up by a loud bang. I ran to my bedroom window that looked straight down at their place. And what did you see? Nothing. Their kitchen lights were on, but that's about it. I went to me phone and called Lieutenant Watts here straight away. Did you see anyone at all on the street? Did you see any sort of activity on the street? Anything unusual? No, detective. Everything was exactly the same it always was. You said you heard a gunshot. You heard one single shot. Yes. The whiskey usually knocks me out pretty good. So if there'd be more, I didn't even hear them. Oh wait. I didn't mean to choose that. How long did it take you to get to the window once you heard the shot? About a couple of seconds, detective. Not more than 5, I'd say. I nearly fell out of my bed when I heard the shot, so you might say I was halfway there already. Okay. Did Chris and Diane have many visitors, friends, etc., etc.? No, not at all, in fact. In all this time, I only maybe saw Jack coming over to fix their car, and Father Smith came over a couple of times when they newly moved in a year back almost. Nah, people rarely ever visit him because he must have kept them themselves, see? Never made any friends here. But sometimes folks don't like those kinds neither, so I can't really say, know what I mean? No, please elaborate. You won't find anyone crying over their deaths here. Nobody really knew them. They never got out much. Do you live alone? Do you live alone, Mr. Willis? Yes, I do. I got married. It's a long story. One meant to be talked over a couple whiskeys, know what I mean? Heh. Can anyone confirm your whereabouts? No. I was just at home, you see. Am I a suspect? It's procedure, Mr. Witt. I know Mr. Willis. He's cool. We gotta react to the unprofessionalism on display. Oh my lord! What? No, that's Lieutenant, Watts right over there. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Mr. Willis? Don't know if this is useful, but you might have heard about Chris and Diane. They looked pretty happy when they first moved in. More recently, though, I heard Diane crying a couple of times, usually late at night. See, the whiskey knocks me out early, so maybe that's why I never heard all this before, but a couple of times I was up a little later. One night, about a month ago, I heard pretty bad things. There were some loud sounds, like stuff being flung around and such, see? I heard someone crying. I was thinking to myself that maybe I should call the police, but then it quieted down all of a sudden. We never received any calls from domestic violence, but people have often talked of stories of this kind. Can you remember when you heard this, Mr. Willis? Well, I was up late night writing an important letter. I think it must have been somewhere between 1st to 3rd last month. 1st, 3rd, September. Alright. Anything else? No, that's all I know about this. Right. Thanks for your help, Mr. Willis. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. No problem, and thanks for the coffee. I didn't give you any coffee. Asshole. I mean, you didn't hear that. I'm a cop. Well, I think that's cleared up a lot of things. It has? Of course. Come on, detective. You're supposed to be good at these things, aren't you? Mr. Willis didn't see anything outside the house after the gunshots. There are no signs of anyone forcing entry either. On top of that, considering how rough things were between the two of them, you heard what Mr. Willis said, right? We don't know the complete picture yet. The amount of information we have, as of now, is very little. It's not the complete picture. We need to dig deeper if we want to know the truth and not just confirm our assumptions. Well, what about the door, huh? How is it locked from the inside? Explain that. I checked the door. It locks itself from the inside when you pull it closed, regardless of whether you pull it from the outside or push it from inside. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that there's no conclusive evidence yet. Well, fine then. Dig as deep as you like, detective. You won't find anything new here. I was perfectly capable of handling this case myself, but of course, the head department had to complicate things. In any case, Sheriff Harris will probably want to wrap up this case before the festival. Don't expect him to wait for more than a week. I have to head to the station now, officer. Escort Detective Anderson to his hotel. Will do, sir. We'll come back in the evening to search the house. Letters, diaries, things of that sort. All right. When can we expect the autopsy results? Day after tomorrow, according to the coroner, but I'll confirm and let you know. I'm guessing there were more than 2 bullet shots last night. We should take another look around the kitchen to make sure. 3 bullets, but... Alright. We're actually glad that you're here, you know. Although the sheriff and lieutenant, what? Would rather not admit it. Even to themselves. This is like the first murder here in the last 100 years or so. We have no idea how to deal with it. I mean... It's alright. I know what you mean. I just joined the force a month back, for instance. And a murder already? I'm not sure if I'm ready. I kind of knew them, you could say. I've never known anyone that's been murdered before, you know? It's kind of weird. A bit sad. I know as an officer I'm not supposed to feel that way and all. You'll be fine. Give it time. Thanks, detective. That means a lot. What's this festival next week about? The sheriff said that there's a festival in the town next week. What's that about? Oh, it's an annual thing. We have it every October. There's a fair on the market street. There's food, rides. We get a lot of tourists from nearby states around that time. It's a good source of revenue from some of our smaller businesses here. That, of course, is less important in the light of recent events. Good to hear you say that. Of course, we can't go around trying to wrap up cases based on our assumptions, whatever the situation may be. I mean, these were people's lives that ended, and it's our job to figure out what really happened. So I guess what I'm saying is you can count on me during this investigation. Thanks. Oh, accidentally hit that one again. No! No! What do you know about Chris and Diane? Well, not much. It's mostly what Mr. Willis said earlier. Nobody knew them, really. They came in here, kept to themselves, and never bothered making friends. Everyone thought they were some kind of weirdos. I admit, I kind of agree with that sentiment too. Feel bad about that now. There's no reason to make assumptions about people's character, and character can't be used as evidence. Good, good. I'm glad you agree. So I'd really like to help figure out what the real story is, whatever it might be. I'm hoping the local police will let me do the job I've been sent to do, though. I don't mean you. Detective, I know what you mean. Honestly speaking, Sheriff Harris is an asshole. I'm serious. He doesn't care about anything except running off home and taking it easy. This case probably ruined his plans to relax and enjoy the festival week. Hate people like that. Lieutenant, what? Though, he's really sweet. I know he comes across as a little obnoxious, but... Oh my god! Hit him head on. I guess we got 2 cases now. I saw her. She was right there. Why am I seeing her? Why am I thinking of her? Man, I'm just smoking this cigarette all to... Oh, I guess I'm done with that cigarette. Can't investigate that? What is that? Let me see it. Or don't. That's cool. Whatever. My poor car. That'd be dangerous to do. Sure would. I can't drive it till it's fixed. Who would have thought? Tar, shovel. Wonder what Jack used them for. Jack's Auto Repair. That's gotta be it for this episode of Rainswept, though. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Join the pack. Till next time, take care.